Here we are, Rich.
Hey there, how
Once
are you?
again. Good, good, good. It's a little warm out, even up here. It's what did I say? 80 something degrees, 89 or something.
Well, it's only floating at 100 down here in the Valley of the Sun. So,
Yeah. Hey folks, I just want to let you know our guest that we had lined up, Katrina with Yavapai Humane Rescue, actually had a call out, and you remember those days working
oh yeah, oh
detectives
yeah.
and different things. You get called out for all kinds of stuff, riots at the jail, all kinds of things. Well, she had gotten a call out somewhere over by Winslow, I think. I'm not sure. It may even be on the res for two dogs that were malnourished and suffering like injuries to them. So she's trying to get those trapped and get them the care. So, because the show was going to be about that, Rich did a little homework and he knows the state statute that applies to animal cruelty and different things. And we even tried to get somebody from MCSO's MASH team in animal cruelty to come on the show to talk about it. But last minute, we couldn't get a hold of anybody. So, we're going to kind of wing it and talk about it a little bit. And then we're going to go into other things like what's going on in Ireland, hence my hat that has my family crest and my tartan on it. So, anyway, with that, let's talk about the animal cruelty thing, Rich.
The Animal Cruelty Statute, ARS, Arizona Revised Statute 2910, covers a lot of different variables in the statute on what is cruelty to animals, how they should be taken care of, what steps need to be done, or what can be done if there are crimes that an individual believes are being are at hand. So, but you
Yeah.
could be prosecuted for anywhere from a class 1 misdemeanor all the way up to a class 4 felony for abuse to animals. It just depends what the crime is, which classification it falls into, and along with that charging of the crime also comes a monetary uh, issue you're going to have to deal with.
Oh, and relinquishing the animal.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yep, the animal. And, for those out there that don't really know, Sheriff Joe actually started it. And I don't know which chief under him at the time that really was pushing it. And I know Jerry Sheridan was there when everything started. And it's a pretty decent program because people that are cruel to animals will go on to do other things.
Oh yeah.
Look at those shooter guys that we had. Those two guys that got arrested for serial shooting or killing down in Phoenix many years ago. They started out shooting horses, cows, dogs, cats, all kinds of stuff. They just went around shooting them at night. And it happened to coincide with that guy that was a freeway shooter that
Yep.
they were looking for as well. So it made a big investigation for all that stuff. Made it tough for Phoenix PD to track it down, MCSO, because a lot of jurisdictions were covered in those areas they were going around in. But back to animal cruelty, animal neglect. And that's the other thing. And neglect, it actually talks about medical treatment, different things like that fall into owning an animal.
Yep.
And you know a little bit about the MASH unit there at the sheriff's office. You want to go in and kind of discuss that as to what they do, how they were on the cutting edge in the forefront of all this stuff?
Well, what little I do know, because that was not an area or division I worked in, but the MASH unit, sponsored by the sheriff's office of Maricopa County there, they do take in animals that they either are found abandoned or animals from incidences that occur involving agency. To nurture them back to health. All that, I believe, a lot of the food and other things are donated items. I cannot confirm that for sure. I don't know what expenditures there might be on behalf of the office, but they do nurture animals back to health, to where they can adopt animals out, anywhere from horses to dogs to various other type of animals, parakeets, you know, you name
Pigs.
it, pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you name it, they've had it.
They've had peacocks there because I
Yep.
remember going there. They've had peacocks.
Yep.
So it's any kind of animal, and it was funny because the ACLU got all up in arms that Joe was putting work release people in tents and putting the animals in what was that, First Avenue jail that they closed down, and they
Yeah.
were putting the
The old
animals
First
in there.
Avenue.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it was that jail was actually condemned by these same organizations because they were trying to push jail overcrowding, what to do, all that stuff. And you guys know, Joe said, we're not going to turn people away and we're going to arrest them for doing things and hold them accountable. And he put the tents in. And for clarity purposes, those tents were actually work release people. Yes. People that would get out to go do their job during the week, come back on Friday night and check in, spend the weekend, get released.
So yeah, they were not unsentenced individuals. They had already been sentenced for their crime, and again, work release, as you said.
And one of the other things that the MASH unit does, it incorporates inmates for rehabilitation. It pairs up inmates with taking care of these animals, whether it was in the Fourth Avenue jail or whether it's in that other one where they had the horses and the stables and everything. Because I went out there one time on something, I can't remember what it was, but they gave me a quick tour, and they had inmates out there doing rope work with horses, running around corral. They were working all these animals back so they could find good homes for them.
Yeah, they have quite the setup down there.
Oh yeah, it's a ranch, but it's more than a ranch because of the different animals they take in. And part of the deal is, I know that they find homes for these animals. But when they find these animals, they get a complaint from a citizen. They go out, they talk to the animal owner, be it a horse owner or livestock or whatever. And they look at the horse, they look at everything, they weigh it, because these people are well trained in what these animals should look like, how they should be taken care of, all those things. And what happens is, if it turns out that they're malnourished or things like that, they have like a release form that if the owners can't take care of them anymore, they sign this release and they take them, and then they take them to the facility there. And I can't remember, what was that, Estrella or somewhere?
Yeah, down there on the Durango and 27th Avenue area.
Yeah, and then they bring them back to health and find good homes for them.
Yep.
You know, so it's a great program. And what Katrina does up here is, a lot of times people just let their animals roam. They bring them up, like people, when the hay prices were really high, they would just cut their horses loose. But with horses and cows and livestock, it's a little different because there's different rules that govern them.
Yeah.
And that's the Livestock Association and livestock inspectors and things like that, because we have open range here. But when it's an intentional release, whether it's a dog, a cat, any of that,
it becomes animal cruelty.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Abandonment.
that statute's pretty damn tough on these people that do that stuff. You know, what was that other case that the sheriff had that was kind of notable? Um, what was that guy's name? That rapper guy. They went out to his
Oh,
house. Something.
oh, I could tell you a story on that one. DMX.
Yeah,
That was supposed
yeah,
to be my call. That initial call that started that was supposed to be my call. Um, I was getting off. I don't know. It was within a short period of time, 20 minutes, a half hour. Not that I ever minded holding over, but I had definitive plans that evening. So I asked another deputy, "Hey, would you grab this call for me? I'm out of here in about 30 minutes." Anyways, I'll leave the deputy unnamed. Great guy, retired since. But yeah, he took that call, which started the snowball rolling, and yeah, I was out of that one.
wow.
I
But
remember that
that was
vividly.
that was pretty big, and that had to
Oh
do
yeah,
with dog fighting.
yeah. And you think for the guy, he had I think the most number one hits in rap or ever. His residence was a crap hole. Um, you would never thought that anyone that well, he probably didn't have much money because he pissed it away.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, he would always pop into the grocery store up there, the Fry's on Carefree Highway, and
yeah.
with his group, and
His
uh,
entourage.
yeah, I don't know if I'd want them to be, anyways. Um,
Well, that's kind of the thing that happens to a lot of guys that
yeah,
aren't used to
mismanaged.
being. Yeah, they get mismanaged. Mike Tyson went through that. He got
Yeah,
mismanaged, lost a lot of money,
yep, yep. Because you
and
have these around you that are vultures, and all they're doing is taking from you. You have
yep,
no idea till it's too late.
yep, yep. But that case, DMX had to do with dog fighting,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and there's been quite a few across the country. And and what Katrina does up here, it's anything in Arizona, northern Arizona, pretty much, because she's way over there now taking care of dogs, and she runs a nonprofit. And there's something that I was reading it is she's like for nonprofits and their transparency and all that stuff, they get a rating, and she's got a gold star rating
great.
for that organization, and she gets a lot of support from locals, politicians, different things. She gets uh, dog food and different things donated to her as well. And she's very successful at what she does. But it'll be nice having her on the show eventually,
Yep, we'll have to get
getting
her
the
on.
timing right so we can do that.
Maybe we'll arrange it next time. She'll have someone to cover any call outs unless it's an absolute necessity. But yeah, when you're on
Yeah,
call,
well,
it's rough. You live on the edge every day.
yeah, yeah, it is. That's what we did.
Yep.
But anyway, so the animal cruelty thing, you cut your dog loose, and that's the other thing. Some people just let their dogs run. Like up here, there's no fence around their property. They let them run. There's no electronic fence that they have for collars and different things.
Yeah.
And then they start chasing livestock and get shot because livestock, there's a statute for that where a rancher can shoot a dog that's
Yep.
chasing livestock. So,
Protect his livestock. Absolutely.
yeah. And some people don't get that. I remember a deal over in Whitman, and it was just something outrageously stupid. A little wiener dog, dachshund, would run out of the lady's yard, under her fence, across the road, under the fence of the other lady across the street who had chickens and ducks and different things. And the lady across the street didn't want to shoot the dog, but she, I guess, shot it with a BB gun.
Oh,
And the dog came back, left the property, came back, and the lady that owned the dog wanted prosecution for shooting the dog. And I actually read her the statute for livestock and different things and what dogs do. And her husband even told her, "See, I told you, we got to keep that dog here." And the related surgery was like at that time $1,500 to get the BB removed or something.
Oh.
But you got to be responsible with your animals.
Yep.
Whatever they are.
Yeah, it's interesting. Even to date, all these instances that have occurred with animals, whether in the northern areas where there's a lot of ranch land or in cities, like down here in Phoenix, which is what I'm alluding to. People still, you will see, walk their dogs without being on a leash, thinking that dog is going to stay next to them, but it's an animal. Who knows what's
Yeah.
going to entice it to snap and chase after another animal or a baby or whatever. But hey, you still see people walking dogs in the cities without leashes on. I wouldn't want to take that chance or liability.
There's tons of YouTube videos out there with people walking dogs and they let them come up and sniff each other.
Yeah,
And then the next thing you know, the fight's on. They're trying to separate it. They're both getting bit. And one dog, unfortunately, gets the short end of it, gets all chewed up and everything. And then it ends up in Judge Judy's people's court over crap like that. But be a responsible owner. Yep. If you're going to have animals, be responsible.
They're animals. They're really unpredictable. You may think you know your pet, but the fact is it's one of Mother Nature's kids. It's unpredictable.
Yeah. And and the other thing down in Phoenix, it's the same up here. You'll see people that are homeless, transients. Yep. They all seem to have dogs, and you wonder how they take care of those animals. Do they get them vaccinated? How do they feed them?
No, you look at some of them, and they don't look too well tended to, and I highly doubt there's a vaccination.
Yeah, and then throw in all those other heebie-jeebie things for animals, parvo and different things. I learned something about coming up here with my dogs. They're all vaccinated. And we learned that they can't just drink water in a puddle up here because there's a parasite in it that can kill them. So, and there's a vaccine for that. So, and unlike COVID, it's an actual vaccine. Yeah.
I picked up on that.
Yeah. A little dig out there. And, but anyway, animal cruelty can be a felony. Yep. If you leave a dog in a hot car, just like a kid, you leave it, even if you go in the store for 5 minutes and the air conditioning's running or the windows are open, it's still a bad thing to do because like your kids, the dogs are like that. And there's a big, if it's 110 outside down in Phoenix, it's obviously well over 250 degrees in that car.
Yeah, I think they measured some temperatures up there. Yeah, the 150s, 80s. Dealt with these animal issues.
Yeah, and there's no excuse for it, none. Nope. And you come up, you get a call for service. You go up. There's a dog locked in the car. You don't know where the owner is. And it's 110 degrees, you're going to break the window and get the dog out. Then you're going to be giving tickets or submitting charges, whatever is appropriate, to the owner of that animal.
Yeah, as far as breaking that window, the officers or firefighters, they're covered under their agency's umbrella, but a citizen, they're covered under the Good Samaritan Act. So if a citizen sees an animal in distress, dog, cat, whatever may be in a car, and it appears, again, in distress, they are covered under the Good Samaritan Act to take action, break that window, and save
Yep.
the animal.
Yep. Same with kids.
Yep.
Same thing with kids. I did see a couple YouTube videos where there was a note on the window that it was funny. It said something that he's listening to music, the AC's on, and he's been well fed. And it's the lady's husband waiting in the car. So yeah, there's some lighter sides to this, but having lived in Phoenix through the 120-degree temperatures a few years back, it is no place to leave an animal in the car or a person for that matter.
No,
Because the other thing too, the ACs on those cars, they're designed that you turn them on, they work really good when you're driving down the road, but when you park, it puts an extra stress on the system, and they generally don't blow cold like we had in the patrol cars.
Yeah. And speaking of patrol cars, canine units, police canine units, they have a lot of barriers for failure, and that they have alarm systems. If the car stalls out while the canine's in there, they have an upgraded air system, for the dog.
Right.
So there's precautions there that are taken when, for animals that are service animals or in service, i.e., police department animals.
Yeah, with technology now, I heard there's even a thing that opens the doors that related to temperature. And if there's no cop around the cop car and you're going peeking in there and it's hot and them doors are open, don't be anywhere around there when that dog comes out.
No,
for
you
sure.
look like a milk bone.
Yeah, true. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about what's going on in Europe right now. A little bit on that.
I think we're going to need more than an hour for that today.
Yeah. It's amazing that it actually took this long. We've seen Canadian truck drivers over the COVID deal not want to work, block roads. They all got in trouble. But, people are getting sick of it. The illegal immigration here isn't anything like what's going on over there. I mean, just millions of people immigrating in, taking over a country, and they're not vetted. A lot of them are criminals. They come from a third world country where laws are a little different. So they do things like rape, trying to behead people. And I guess that's what was going on in Ireland. Some guy from the Sudan, I hear, was trying to behead somebody right in public, was cutting his neck. And they arrested the guy, but he shouldn't be there to begin with. I'm sorry.
I can only say, America, wake up.
Yeah, and it can happen here. Well, what has happened here to a certain degree with, people that were let in that killed and raped your daughter, your wife, all kinds of things, little kids. It's disgusting what these people are doing. And, thank God we have a guy like Donald Trump as president that wants to take care of it. You may not like the guy personally, but you have to agree we need to keep America safe. And like the MAGA thing, make America great again, or like the health thing, make America healthy again. We got make America safe again, and it's changed just in this short time. The border's closed. There's been a trickle of what was coming in under Biden now, as compared to now. So,
the thing is no matter what the category is, you can talk about these people that are way up the ladder, way above us, and whether they've been in their office for a year, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40 years, for some,
Right.
they're so protected and they're so away from the normal life that
Yeah.
their family never experiences the trials and tribulations that the average American does. So, they probably don't even read the paper, or they probably don't even read the news off their phone,
No.
because they're dealing with so much of their other stuff daily that they're so far um, away from the norm that they just don't
Yeah.
understand. But if they were affected, if you had the wife of a senator, a congressman, raped or murdered, or a daughter or a son, or whoever, things would probably maybe change a little bit. But
Yeah.
these folks are yeah, they just don't have a clue.
There's one thing that happened, and I want to look it up real quick. Do you remember the name Chandra Levy?
I do, but I don't recall the incident. But I do remember
She
the name.
was on the staff for a congressman. She turned up missing and then dead.
Washington, right?
I'm looking it up. If I remember, and that was a few years ago. Let me see. She disappeared in 2001. Out of Modesto, California.
Okay. Yeah, 25 years ago almost.
She had a master's degree she had a master's degree internship with the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Wow.
Her parents reported her missing. No signs of a forced entry. She was on the staff, or there was some kind of romantic relationship with her and U.S. Representative Gary Condit, a Democrat in
I remember that
California.
name.
Anyway, and then they got an undocumented alien, I guess in the early days of the investigation. Undocumented alien Ingmar Guantike or something, I don't know. It looks like he was the suspect in it, but he was an illegal alien from, guess where? El Salvador. And he got convicted and sentenced to 60 years in prison in 2010.
Took 9 years.
9 years. What's that?
I said it took 9 years.
I got to do something. I had a big echo. So that tells me that one speaker system is on that I don't need because I heard it. Anyway, yeah, so the case is frequently talked about in investigations, other ones, as a teaching tool. Yeah, to this day, no other suspects have been charged, just that one guy. But that's the part of it, which is kind of crazy because it's going on now. You got a lot of angel moms and dads out there that have these kinds of things going on. They lose a child because of illegal immigration. You imagine in Europe, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So what's going on in Ireland's also going on in the UK, is also going on in France to some degree, and is also going on in Italy and Germany. And those stupid people still in charge are talking like this is racism, you guys protesting. And and you're right, until it affects them. They live in that gilded cage.
Yep.
And they have
They're in a
no
bubble.
idea what. Yeah, they're protected, they're shielded. You see them going out with bodyguards and all kinds of stuff, but yet mom and pop or grandma and grandpa, they have nothing.
My question is,
they,
if it's so safe, why bodyguards? Why all
Yeah.
that? Why all that protection if it's safe?
Yeah, well, it goes on in New York. We've seen videos of people getting pushed onto subway tracks, run over by the subway, punched in the face, all some, and that's some illegal alien or somebody that's got mental health issues. That gal that was legally immigrated here from the Ukraine on that train in what was it, one of the Carolinas, stabbed, and nobody lifted a finger.
Nope. Yep.
I don't know. It's enough to piss people off, and you got to wake up. And when they say woke people and DEI and all that stuff, forget about it. You got to wake up to the bullshit that they're dishing you.
Yep.
Because it's a lot worse than what you think it is. You got to go places with your head on a swivel. You got to go places where you're armed and protected, where you can protect yourself.
That's why I only travel within this country. See the shining sea. Done leaving the borders.
Yeah,
at
well,
least
you
I have
can't
some rights.
You can't really ride a Harley to Hawaii or over to Europe.
No, well, as far as traveling, I'm one that I'm probably not going to stand there on the subway and watch the lady get stabbed. I might intervene, and if I'm someplace else,
well,
I'm not going to be, I'll say that innocent till proven guilty. Whether you're involved, obviously not directly involved in the situation, but aiding somebody. I don't think half the countries care out there. They're, if you took action where you, I'll say, ended up having to eliminate somebody, you may not be in a favorable position. So I don't want to be in a position like that. I'm at least I have what I believe is some rights if I stay within the United States.
Yeah, well, look at the one guy in New York that actually stood up.
Yeah,
Daniel Penny.
But at least the process, he's good now, right?
Yeah, he's good now.
Yeah.
But Alvin Bragg and these DAs and prosecutors that just go after people.
The people that woke up.
Yeah, that woke up and said, no more, I ain't going to put up with this shit. And I'm really surprised there haven't been any real, like Charles Bronson vigilantes, because this is, this is crazy what's going on. And especially now with technology being the way it is, look at, we still got Nancy Guthrie missing and no idea.
Yeah. A very sad case.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've hit rock bottom. You're talking about vigilante type of things, but who knows if that's ever going to come to, because we're not at rock bottom, I believe.
No,
people are getting fed up. A lot of stuff's going on, but we're not at rock bottom.
No, we're not. We're not even close. But if it keeps in this direction, it's going to be too expensive to live here. It's going to be crime-ridden everywhere. It's like here in Arizona. Holy shit. Remember, I bet you could look up calls for service when we were working and then calls for service now, and you'd see a dramatic increase.
Oh yeah, I'm
And
sure.
then there's groups out there that are wanting to stifle cops and their ability to go after bad guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
uh, ta being a cop now, having all that stuff in there, you know, the defund stuff, complaints, and the way the monitors work it, every complaint is in writing and becomes an IA. You know, it's hard to believe that anybody even wants to be a cop. You know, it really
I
is.
think when you started, I know when I started, roughly, I think it was $12 an hour out of the academy. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was
I
$13.90 an hour.
Okay, so let's call it $14. I think nowadays, and it could be a dollar or two, but it's like $28 starting, and that's 35 years later.
Yeah,
And an officer is only getting paid um, half double of what it was 35 years ago. Why
yeah,
people even I thank them for getting in this profession nowadays, the last 5, 10 years, but
yeah.
uh, wow,
It's rough.
how sad, how sad
I'd
that
have
the
sold
communities put it
windows.
last.
I would have sold window replacements at homes or stayed a machinist working at Allied Signal or something. I would have stayed doing that rather than go through the stuff now.
Yeah,
It's just unbelievable.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, anything else going on, Rich?
No, just keep up with the everyday happenings. Just watching what's going on with these oil prices. They're going up and down each day. With the we're going to sign, we're not going to sign, we're going to sign, we're not going to sign. Sometimes I think it's a political ploy, but
Well,
it
they
is
they
what it is.
are they are good they are good horse traders.
Oh,
They've had a record of that. They've never negotiated anything in a short amount of time. But
yeah.
um, it's crazy to see it, you know. And that's the other thing. I did an oil change yesterday. 6 quarts of oil, and an oil filter was over $100.
Wow.
And remember when you could get them for like 99 cents for
Cents for the
Valvoline?
quart in that
It-
circular little cardboard container.
yeah, and now it's like because of
Ridiculous.
restrictions, all these different things. Then throw in EPA stuff, you know. No wonder, no wonder average people are still average people. They don't have an opportunity to make any money because they're paying for everything.
Yeah.
Property tax the same way. So I saw something the other day. It may have been yesterday or this morning where some guy was saying it's your property is the only thing that you don't really own. Even when you own it and you pay it off, they keep raising the
The taxes.
value of it and charging you more money. And now you're on a restricted income when you're retired, and you know you can lose your home.
Yeah, if you don't pay
Things
your
that you,
taxes, they're gonna seize it. It's like,
yeah,
"Wait, I paid it off. I own it." Well, no, you don't. You didn't pay your taxes.
yeah. Well, it's kind of like buying a car. You can pay off your car, but you're still paying registration and all that stuff. But
That's a scam.
I,
4 wheels on the road in Arizona, they judge you by the value of the vehicle. 4 wheels on the road in, wherever, Montana, let's just say, it's a flat fee of, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a number, $35 a month. Well,
yeah,
why in Arizona? Does it matter if it's a Ferrari, or does it matter if it's a Chevy?
yeah,
4 wheels is 4 wheels on the road.
yeah.
But yeah, they sure get you in
They get you
Arizona.
coming and going.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a book out there, and I don't know the exact title. I want to try to find it to read. It's the hidden tax. It's about hidden taxes. Everything you take for granted, Like
No, don't.
you register your vehicle, there's a tax. You go to get fuel, there's a tax. You what average people see is if they're working a job, they see tax on their check. They think that's it, but no, that doesn't stop it. You got homeowners tax, mandatory stuff that you got to do, insurance, all these different things, and then throw in the people that scam you out of shit, you know.
Yeah, well, it's sad because uh, well, all this, as we noticed in the news in the last couple weeks, months, but we've all known, the stealing of the monies in the background there that are going on, the falsification of documents of an entity that exists, and millions going here, trillions going there. It's
Yep.
sad that that's happening, which would probably, if they cleared all that stuff up, there'd be no need to take money out of our paychecks to tax our car, to tax our property, to tax our items that we buy at the store. But
Yeah.
it
I,
seems that
I
we're messed up internally, is what it comes down to.
yeah, they need to doge it, doge
Yeah,
everything
fix
and
the issues.
fix
Yeah,
it. And it's funny, I've always said that we can sit around a table, like a kitchen table,
and talk about it.
talk about it and come to we could probably fix it at our kitchen table.
Yep.
But we got people that are too invested in it. You have politicians, you
Oh, they
have
lose money.
yeah.
Yeah, they lose money. They're not going to change some things because then it affects their lives, but they don't
Yep.
realize they're affecting everybody else's lives in a very adverse way, and their families,
Yeah.
and their kids, and their kids.
Yeah. And then here you go.
Selfishness.
You get Social Security, you have a little bit of a retirement in Social Security. They Trump did good saying he's going to work on no tax on Social Security. Well, think about this. You've worked all your life. You've paid everything, all the taxes to just survive. You bought a house, all
It's like,
this
give me a
stuff.
break.
And then now you're a senior citizen, too old to get a job somewhere. And you have a limited income. And you sit here with going, man, the taxes are going up. They're killing me. I can't feed my or feed myself. I can't pay the taxes, so I'm going to lose the home that I built, the
Yeah.
home that I raised a family in, that all these different things. And I don't know if there's anything they can do. Well, there's obviously stuff they can do. They can not spend money on stupid shit like gender studies of friggin' field mice in Uganda and crap like that, because we've been seeing it, and we're like, some politician somewhere is getting greased, has his hand out.
What happened to that famous artist, Hunter Biden,
Oh yeah,
that did some great pieces of art and sold them for millions of dollars?
finger painting, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
What scam was there?
I don't know, defrauding people or whatever. Yeah. And it's funny. The only thing that's getting most of the word out, and like our last guest said, Colonel Grossman, it's shows like this,
Yeah.
And it's funny. I mentioned that Sean Hannity does a podcast, hanging out with Sean, and that he's got a TV show. Now he's trying to corner the market in podcasts. And, this is the only thing average people have are things like this to get their opinion out, because Otherwise, your opinion doesn't mean shit to the people that are elected. It doesn't mean shit to the people that have big corporations.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'm all for guys making money. Believe it. If you come up with an idea and you work it and you make money and you become a millionaire, good for you. Like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or any of them other guys, they came up with a product that nobody else had. Now they're making money and they're making money off the money. So what? I don't care. But don't stifle anybody else's opportunity.
Yep. Don't be greedy.
Well, it isn't a matter of being greedy. It's the matter of stifling somebody else so that they could get to that point, because that's the one beautiful thing about this nation coming up on the 250th anniversary.
Yep.
Anybody can do anything they want in this country.
To a degree.
To a degree, until somebody that is in that position says, well, I don't need the competition. We're going to shut him down, So anyway,
yep. No.
Well, enough on that, because it starts getting my blood boiling. But
see the steam.
Yeah, the other thing that's been going on is our president has been releasing UAP UFO information. We touched upon it a little bit last week, but there's some crazy shit going on. It's been going on for years, and they've been hiding it from the people. Like people that get abducted by space aliens, and we all laugh and chuckle. But guess what? It's been going on a long time, and if you believe that stuff, they make you look like you're an idiot, that you don't know what you're talking about, and the men in black show up, and then
I don't have much of a comment on that. I don't follow that. I have my own opinions, so I'm going to leave it at that.
No, well, I can tell you that there is some unexplained stuff.
There is
because
some.
Yeah, and I saw it in the Navy when we were in the Bermuda Triangle of all places, and it's documented. But, and that's the other thing. For us to be that egotistical to think that we're the only ones around in a massive universe, that's crazy.
Yeah, too big out there.
Yeah.
What lies beyond that dark? We don't know.
No, we don't. Or time, even, for that matter. For time. There's all kinds of theories and all kinds of things out there. And
we'll have to dedicate a show to maybe conspiracy theories in the future here and talk about different things.
Yeah, Bigfoot.
Did we really land on the moon? Because we haven't been there in 50 years, and
yeah, which one of my thought processes on. I was a little kid then, and I think I was 11 years old, but it was such a big deal because we're in a space race. So, we landed on the moon.
Yeah.
The computer that was in that space capsule doesn't even match up to the ability of our home computers nowadays.
Yeah. Well, I always had the question, the word you just said, nowadays, Nixon picked up the phone and he spoke to the Apollo spacecraft there on the moon, but I can't even keep a call with a friend around the corner here before it gets dropped. And
was it a collect call?
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I have my thoughts on some of those things.
Yeah,
but it would be interesting to collect all of these conspiracy theories and talk about them, and maybe get people that have researched them and stir the pot.
Hey, there was another thing too. There were some cops recently that went on trial for different things. They were charged with excessive force in the case of the guy in Williams.
Prescott even recently.
Yeah, and And yeah, Prescott was the guy, the unarmed guy he shot,
Yeah, sad.
and I don't know. I think the case in Williams, I guess the guy got acquitted, and it's pissed off a lot of people. But guess what? There's more to an investigation. There's a lot of factors that go into it,
Yep.
and there's evidence, things like that. I don't think people were too pissed off when O.J. Simpson got off after killing Nicole Simpson and Goldman. They
Yeah.
They didn't seem to be too upset about that. In fact, they were cheering in the streets. And I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into a case. There's evidence, there's all the investigations, witness statements. It's a crazy, crazy world right now. And it seems to be getting better, but there's still a lot of stupid people out there. A lot, you know. Anyway, what
Yeah,
else?
you can't fix stupid. It's there's a bunch of it that surrounds us, and you're talking
Yeah,
about those cases. Um, these people that riot out in the streets or go and
yeah,
attack people because they're upset that the verdict wasn't what they wanted. It's like they have no knowledge of the background of that case, the in-depth
yeah.
investigations and the specifics, and yeah,
They
just a
get
lot of stupid.
they get CNN and different places feeding them garbage. And what is that
Tommy
old
News
thing?
Network,
Oh yeah, what's that old saying? Garbage in.
garbage out.
Yep. And that kid, the white kid that got stabbed in Texas, the guy got
Yeah,
convicted, and then everybody on the left, it seems like, because the stabbing suspect was black, they just went berserk. And there's pictures of some people urinating on that kid's grave, and
wow.
he didn't deserve to die. Nobody deserves to die. Well,
No,
wait a minute, but
yeah.
you know, but and then you got, I
They
think it
were
was,
making it a racial issue, but I don't know the specifics, but I believe on the jury there were two Asians descent, two Muslim descent, two Hispanic descent. If I don't remember the all exact numbers, but it
yeah.
wasn't all just again they're talking making it a racial issue. There is no, it's not a racial issue. It was a criminal act, and the jury decided based upon the criminal
Yeah.
act.
Well, I remember that one lady, Jasmine Crockett,
Ah,
who was just something the other day. They were showing her talking about the knife. Oh, it's just a little knife, and this and this and this. Well,
let's stab Jasmine with it and see if she likes it.
yeah. Well,
I
it's
mean, I'm not saying I'm going to do that. No, no. I'm just saying if she were to be stabbed with it, what would she say?
yeah. It's the craziest shit. You know. Anyway,
Yeah,
well,
crazy.
yep. We're just about done here. So
Okay.
you
I will be absent on our next broadcast on Sunday the 21st. So you're gonna have to take it away.
are you like sneaking into Mexico or Venezuela or somewhere?
Yep, yep. We're wrong on both of those. I'm staying right here.
Staycation.
That's it.
Yeah, but anyway, next week I'm going to try to get a guest on. It's going to be a TBA thing, and maybe Katrina will be able to come on, which would be great. And then the following, the 28th, there's two gentlemen that are veterans of the British military that are going to be talking about what's going on in Europe right now with all the protests. That's why it was important for us to touch on that.
Yeah.
what they're faced with, all the garbage there, and then plus all the stupid rules. When you come out and speak against the country, you can be arrested. You know, like we were talking to Dave Grossman or the Colonel. We were asking him about it, and he goes, "Yeah, a guy comes here, gets a picture of him shooting a gun legally here,
Puts it
posts
on
it
his
on
Facebook.
Facebook, and then gets arrested over in Europe."
Yeah. Sad.
You know, yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something is definitely wrong. So,
Yeah.
anyway, well, that's pretty much it, Rich.
Okay. Well, I look forward to jumping back on with you at the end of the month. And for those that are listening, I reached out to Sheriff Jerry Sheridan, Maricopa County, and we're looking to have him on in July for his 18th month update. See how things are going,
Yeah,
where he thinks they're at, and where they're going to go if he can get us
that,
information.
that'll be a good one because I know that there's been quite a few people that have retired early or gone to other agencies, and I want to see what he's trying to do with the stopgap stuff. And I know some of it hinges on pay raises in the county dragging their feet. So,
We'll see.
yep. Anyway, guys.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
Yep.